Hello, here I am again, and this time I'm going to show you one of my favorite shortcuts. This is a short video to show you one of my my favorite shortcuts, and I just used it or show you in the previous video the Pun by Acoustica Audio, which is a free plugin, and I'm going to apply that EQ to the vocal. I love doing this shortcut, and I'm going to show you in a second, which is not necessarily what I'm about to do. I'm going to duplicate Sarah's vocal, and I'm going to mute the one that I duplicated. I'm going to leave that one the way it is, and I'm going to replace our EQ7 that we had added some shelf EQ to add some brightness to it after the de-esser, again with the same plugin. So here we are, and that's the Pun. I'll use the Pun CL or regular, doesn't really matter. Let's listen to her voice. That error, Pro Tools 2020. By the way, this plugin works with any other DAW. Not that I have any problems with Pro Tools, but just in case you want to use it in Logic or any other one, you can use it. BST, audio units, and AAX. Let's listen to it.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds.
So just to be fair, I'm going to choose a frequency similar to what we have chosen before. This one says 5022, so I can either go to the one below or the one above. I'm going to go with the one above. Well, I'm actually going to listen, and then I'm going to boost. It's driving me crazy. Let's try it again.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out, feeling good, without a doubt.
The first thing that I can notice is that I can make it really bright, and it's not hurting. So kudos for that, Acoustica Audio.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out, feeling good, without.
I just made it a shelf so that we can compare it to the one that we just did, and so it would compare lately to that one. I'm trying to compare the two EQs.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out, feeling.
Here I am boosting about 4, let's say 4 plus, and on this one it says 4.5. Let's just listen to that, how the two compare.
Now.
So here's my shortcut. All of this to show you the shortcut. My shortcut is Shift M, and Shift M does mute the track. But here's the trick. I selected both tracks. One of them is muted, the other one is not muted. So I'm always comparing, and I've told you before that whatever sounds louder tends to sound better for the ear as a first instance. And I'm always trying not to fool myself, so I'm using these shortcuts all the time. For this to work, you gotta make sure that here the link track and edit selection is on, otherwise it will not work. So again, I have selected both of the tracks, one of them is muted, the other one is not, and when I press Shift M, I will toggle between the two sounds. So let's start with the original sound.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out, feeling good, without a doubt.
Let's go to the new one.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out.
I just mentioned that the reason I do this, although I like this one right away, is because as you can tell, this one is louder. So
nowadays, we're in the clouds.
I'm going to try to match the level. I'm going to add the pre just because I liked it before, and I'm going to lower the level a little bit.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars.
That sounds fairly close. Let's compare the two of them.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds. Higher than the stars, hang out, feeling good,
Listen
without
to the brightness
a doubt.
there.
Loving how this love feels now. Never letting go of our forever. Never letting go for life. Permanently doing it together, yeah.
think you can hear the difference. I'm gonna leave it up to you to like it, but this is the video wasn't about the sound of it, but my shortcut that I use all the time, Shift M. The same shortcut would apply to, and I use it as well, not as much, but if I do the S, and then instead of being Shift M, it's gonna be Shift S. So here's the solo for the track.
Nowadays, we're in the clouds, higher than the stars, hang
Shift
out,
S.
feeling good without a doubt. Loving how this love feels now. Never letting go of our forever. Never letting go for life.
If you are recording, it would also be Shift R to record. If I want to enable any of these tracks, let's say I want to record this track, then Shift R will do it for this track right now. Okay. Or Shift I will put that track on input only. I went in and out right away just because I'm also using that input. So Shift M, that's mute. Shift S, that's solos. Shift R, that's record. And Shift I, that's input only. The Shift M I use all the time with this toggling function of going back and forth between two things that I'm trying to compare. The Shift S, if I'm trying to compare something in solo, I use it, not as much. And Shift R and Shift I honestly almost don't use it. Well, when I'm recording, I will, but I still go back and click them. I hope you guys find this shortcut as useful as I do, because I'm pretty addicted to them, especially the Shift M. Till the next video. Ciao.